Okay, so picture this. Warm sun, beautiful beaches, and your very own villa on the Spanish coast.
Sounds pretty dreamy, right?
Dreamy, but not always easy to pull off, right?
Yep.
I mean, buying property in a different country, that can feel a bit overwhelming. There's a lot to figure out.
Absolutely. There are a lot of moving parts.
And that's exactly why we're doing this deep dive today. We're
Yeah.
checking out Spanish Coast properties.
They're a real estate agency, and they specialize in, well, you guessed it, properties along those beautiful Spanish coasts.
Exactly. We want to give you the inside scoop.
We're using their website as our guide.
It's like we're going on a virtual tour, but instead of just looking at houses, we're really trying to understand the company itself.
We're going to be looking at what they offer, their services, what their company culture is like.
We'll even peek at some client experiences.
We want to see if this company is the right fit for what you're looking for.
Exactly. All right, so first impressions, their website, pretty sleek, very professional.
Definitely. Easy to navigate,
Yeah.
which is so important when you're dealing with a lot of information. And their tagline, find your dream Spanish coast property. I mean, who wouldn't want that, right?
Right. It's catchy. And they back it up, too, by mentioning their team with expertise in real estate, law, and technology. They're not just about pretty pictures of beaches.
They're saying, we've got the knowledge and the experience to make this happen for you.
Exactly. Okay, before we get too deep, I do want to point out those featured properties. They give a nice glimpse into the types of properties they handle. We're talking villas, apartments, and even some new construction projects, which is interesting. Ooh, that new build villa in San Fulgencio with 3 bedrooms and a pool. Now that's tempting, but let's try to stay focused. We have a lot to cover.
You're right. So to really get a feel for what they offer, let's take a closer look at their services. I mean, you expect the basics, right? Buying, selling, maybe rentals.
You're right, the usual suspects.
Well, the Spanish Coast properties, they go above and beyond. They do offer the property sales and rentals, yeah, but then you get into things like property management, and that's what really caught my eye.
Okay, so let's dig into that. What do they mean by property management? Because I'm thinking for someone who's maybe not living in Spain full time, this could be a game changer.
Right, you got it. We're not talking just about, like, collecting rent checks here. They're talking about handling everything for owners who are away.
So what kind of things are we talking about here? Give us the details.
Okay, think regular maintenance, repairs, things are going to come up.
Well-
They'll even handle renting out the property to vacationers if that's something you want. They take care of the headaches, so you don't have to. You can just relax and enjoy your little slice of Spanish paradise.
Okay, so peace of mind, basically.
Exactly. That's their selling point.
Yeah.
They take care of it all.
Smart. So they're not just about closing a deal. They're about making ownership as easy as possible, especially for those who aren't living there year-round.
They're definitely tapping into a growing market. People who want a vacation home, an investment property, without the stress of managing it all from afar.
I can see the appeal for sure, especially for someone like me who, well, let's just say home repairs aren't my forte.
They make it hassle-free.
Okay, so property management, that's a big one. What other services did you notice that really stood out?
So they also offer something called relocation assistance. And I think we both know moving to a new country, it's not just about finding a place to live.
No, it's a whole life change.
Exactly. And they seem to get that.
Okay, so what does this relocation assistance actually involve? What are they offering?
Think of it this way. They're like your one-stop shop for everything you need to get settled.
Like what? Give me some examples.
Okay, so help with visas that alone can be a nightmare then. Finding schools for your kids if you have kids. Setting up bank accounts.
Oh, wow. Yeah, the things you don't even think about until you're actually there.
Exactly. They'll even help you find local doctors, all those essential services you need when you're in a new place.
So they're really trying to make that transition as smooth as possible, taking care of all those little details that can feel so overwhelming.
They're like your personal integration team, guiding you through the whole process.
That's a huge selling point for sure, especially for families who are making a big move.
Absolutely. It takes a lot of the stress out of starting a new life in a new country.
Okay, so 2 really strong service offerings so far. Anything else catch your eye?
One more thing. They also do custom property development. And I don't just mean connecting you with a developer. They seem to be more involved in the actual process.
Interesting. So you're saying if I want to build my dream Spanish villa from scratch, they can handle that.
They can. They'll work with you on the design, the whole 9 yards. So if you're someone who wants to be really hands-on, have a say in every detail, this could be a good option for you.
That's a whole other level of service.
It shows they're really committed to finding you the perfect property, even if it means building it from the ground up.
Okay, so they've covered a lot of bases here. We've got property management, relocation assistance, custom builds. It seems like they've thought of everything someone might need when it comes to buying property in Spain.
That's a pretty impressive range of services.
They're not just targeting one type of buyer, they're casting a wide net.
It makes you wonder, what's their company culture like? Are they all about the bottom line, or is there something more driving this approach?
Let's find out. They have an About Us section on their website, so let's see what they have to say about themselves. I'm curious to see how they present themselves. Their mission statement is usually a good place to start.
Yeah, let's see if their values align with all these impressive services they offer.
Okay, so they say their mission is to offer quality real estate services, guaranteeing the satisfaction of our clients. I mean, that sounds great, but you hear that a lot from companies, right?
Yeah, it's like, how do you actually deliver on that promise? That's the key question.
Exactly. So, reading between the lines here, do you get the sense that they actually walk the walk, or is it just empty words? What's your gut feeling?
Well, they keep mentioning things like honesty, transparency, building trust. Those are good signs.
They're not just buzzwords, they seem to be woven into their whole approach, which I appreciate.
And they back it up with concrete actions, like emphasizing clear communication throughout the entire process. They're not just trying to close a deal. They want their clients to feel informed and empowered every step of the way.
That's important, especially when you're dealing with something as big as buying property abroad. You need to trust the people you're working with.
Absolutely. And they're not shy about highlighting their team's expertise either. They talk about their highly trained and experienced team and using state-of-the-art tools.
They're investing in their people and technology.
It shows they're serious about what they do.
Okay, so they talk a good game about their values, their team, their approach, but anyone can say they have a great team and a client-centric approach, right? What I'm really interested in is seeing how this translates into real-life client experiences.
Let's get down to the nitty-gritty. I'm curious too.
Let's see what their clients are actually saying about them. They have a whole section dedicated to client testimonials, so let's dive in and see if we can find some genuine nuggets of insight.
Okay, let's see if they live up to the hype.
Okay, testimonials, always interesting to see what people are saying. Here's one. Sarah and John P., they're happy sellers, and they talk about how the team helped them find their dream home on the beautiful Costa Blanca. And wait, Costa Blanca, that's that area with the amazing beaches, right?
It is that stretch of coastline, those white sandy beaches, the turquoise waters. It's gorgeous.
Yeah, it sounds idyllic. And they didn't just say coast, they said Costa Blanca. They're painting a picture.
Exactly. They're adding that little touch of, come on, you want this.
Subtle but effective. Okay, what about this one? The Smith family, happy buyers. They talk about relocating to Spain with their family, and that's a big decision.
Huge. And they mentioned finding a home in a wonderful community, which to me says a lot about Spanish Coast properties.
What do you mean?
Well, they get it. It's not just about finding a house. It's about finding a place where you and your family can really belong.
Finding that sense of community.
Exactly. And that really ties back to their relocation assistance service. They're not just helping people buy a property. They're helping them build a life.
It's a more holistic approach for sure.
Definitely. Of course, these are just a few stories, and they're the ones the company chose to highlight.
Always good to keep that in mind.
It's smart to look for reviews from other sources too, get a broader perspective. But overall, I'd say these testimonials, they create a positive impression.
They do. Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here. Services, company culture, client experiences. What are your final thoughts for our listeners who might be thinking, hey, maybe Spanish Coast Properties is the right fit for me?
If you're looking for a company that offers a full range of services, from finding a place to live to helping you settle into a new life in Spain, they're definitely worth considering. They seem to prioritize their clients and really understand the ins and outs of the Spanish property market.
They've got the experience, the expertise, and a good track record, at least from what we've seen.
Exactly. But, and this is important, no matter how much research you do, you'll always have questions.
Absolutely.
So here's my challenge to our listeners. Imagine yourself there, Spanish sun, maybe you're at the pool, maybe you're overlooking the ocean, got that picture in your head.
I do.
Now ask yourself, what would I need to know to make that dream a reality? What questions would I ask Spanish Coast Properties?
Don't be afraid to reach out, right?
Exactly. No question is too small when you're making a big decision like this.
Well said. All right, so for anyone dreaming of their own slice of Spanish paradise, be sure to check out Spanish Coast Properties. Their website has all the details. And hey, you never know, your dream home might be just a click away.
Happy house hunting, everyone.
And that wraps up another deep dive. We'll see you next time.